In the inhospitable wasteland of California, the rules of society do not exist. Not only are there ghouls and mutants and addicts roaming the streets, it is socially acceptable to run into a casino and turn the owner's entrails into outrails with a shotgun, and I enjoy this quite a lot. However, Fallout dials that back a fair bit. The world of Fallout is a post-apocalyptic wasteland where you are tasked with finding a water chip by committing heinous crimes against the religious, the poor, the wealthy, and anyone who vaguely resembles a Picasso painting. Now, the water chip isn't the end of it. The end is saving California from a man who looks suspiciously like my foreskin was dragged through an industrial cheese grater, from turning regular drug addicts into the green equivalent of Liver King. Starting off, we leave the vault with our hero, Bob Hope, based on no one in particular. We'll set off into the world, hoping to save it using our chin that roughly resembles the wheelchair ramp Stephen Hawking used to board a certain plane to a nondescript island, owned by a nondescript New York financier. First we arrive in Shady Sands, and I know what you're thinking. Blackguard, this is just modern-day Santa Monica. But you would be wrong. Shady Sands is far more interesting. It has sights such as a wall and a stone butt plug thing. And Ian. And Ian's pretty cool. So on our first detour from saving the wasteland, we decide to go and take out some rad scorpions for the town. With our footloose extra in tow, we go to the caves, where I proceed to charge at the scorpions, unarmed. Attempting to solve this problem with my incredible looks and intimidating presence that can only be gained by being a man wearing tight, bright blue lycra. However, despite my attempts at being charming, the scorpions attack me, probably assuming I'm some sort of flamboyant homosexual bipedal rat, which coincidentally is what my friends called me in college. Now, after dropping my gun and going on a rage-fueled stabbing spree like I was Osama bin Laden at a furry convention, we killed the last of the scorpions and headed back to Shady Sands for our hero's welcome. And by hero's welcome, I mean all I get is a thank you, and then everyone moves on. Shady Sands is the epitome of a 1980s mining town. All anyone wants to talk about is the economy and agriculture and how the ghouls keep stealing their milk. Probably. Whilst we're here, I spend 10 minutes wandering aimlessly around the town, looking for a reason not to turn my head into an impressionist art piece displayed on this man's ceiling. Then it dawns on me. I could buy a rope and hang go into Vault 15. But not to do the main quest. Oh no. I'm going for fashion purposes. But before we leave, I have the same conversation with two different people repeatedly, like a paranoid schizophrenic with a passion for linguistics. When we got to Vault 15, something in Ian changed. Ian then proceeded to commit a workplace shooting, indiscriminately firing into every rat and turning them into something that resembles a $2 crawfish boil. And after Ian had finished breaking the Rodent Geneva Convention, we headed downstairs into Vault 15, where I gave Ian multiple non-consensual cranial surgeries using a 10mm pistol, and picked up a sweet leather jacket and trousers, and another rope. Heading further down into the vault, we were immediately ambushed by rats and mole rats alike. After turning them all into a viscous paste, we were beset upon by recently aborted fetuses with a passion for biting our ankles. Heading back to Shady Sands, we're asked by Tandy's father to go and rescue her from raiders, but knowing that she'll become a market liberal in the future, we elect to ignore his pleas for help and instead head to Junktown. On the way to Junktown, we're ambushed by more octopedal furries who almost beat us to death with their radioactively enhanced butt plugs. Luckily, much like infants, their bodies are incredibly fragile, and we instead forcibly and intensively show them the benefits of making their internal organs external. After arriving at Junktown and greeting the guard at the gate, Bob seemed to have something of a senior citizen moment, being unable to navigate a simple corner or even move further than 1 foot. When he finally figured it out, we decided to go and get scammed for some stim packs. Next on the agenda is speaking to the town's mayor, Killian. We ask him some questions that clearly enrage the townsfolk so much that one comes in and decides that Killian is no longer their main target, and instead violently implants some 12-gauge shells in our abdomen. Now, as you can see, Bob Hope is not an especially talented marksman. With a shooting skill equivalent to a lobotomized petri dish, we spend more time shooting walls or civilians off in the distance than actually hitting our target. Thanks to Ian, he was soon shown the error of his ways by allowing the floor to borrow his arm, courtesy of a close-range shot. In order to get revenge on the leader of the Gremlins, we had to implicate him in his crime. So we spy on him and blatantly ignore his constitutional rights. After losing all our money in the casino of the man we're trying to kill, we return with Killian and his posse, and armed with a new shotgun and the ability to hit a target within 7 inches of us, we showed Gizmo the dangers of gambling on the human race by practicing some new cosmetic surgery called abdominal relocation, performed with a 12-gauge shotgun. So that was Fallout. We may not have succeeded in our goals, but we ultimately did something much better. We doomed a woman to die in a raider camp and caused mass unemployment in a major town by executing their boss in his office. And I, for one, feel great about our achievements.